I was very specific. I
This
don't want to
is a
miss my
Bramble
mom
Jam
and dad
podcast.
and you paid me to it.
Still wake up, though. I still wake up.
one rule. I will not miss my mom. And hi, I'm Brandon. I love When Calls the Heart.
Hey, it's Brandon. I like When Calls the Heart.
Oh, I'm Dan. And is Jack dead yet?
And this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast. Oh, man.
Are you okay, buddy?
I feel great.
I hope
Panda,
so, buddy.
I understand
Yeah.
that this is a big episode of television,
Yep.
and you actually wrote a poem.
Yep. I
Poem?
A poem. You were
Poem.
so inspired. Do you want to read that now, or do you want to wait until
I can start. I'll give you the first few lines.
the first few lines? How long is this?
It's an entire epic, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
How long is that?
Last I checked, it was 340 pages.
Okay.
But I could just give you the beginning and the end. The first line and the last line of the whole poem. First line.
Hit me.
All right, first line. As we go along this endless space.
What, did you start with vitamin C graduation? You started vitamin C graduation. Don't act like
So
you
I
didn't.
saw Jack and Elizabeth. They're having good times. They're walking down the aisle and saying you're mine, and I'm having fun. I'm saying who's that? It is that guy with or is he back? I don't really know what is going on, but I'm gonna get married and you'll sing along. Oh no, is the church burned down? No, it's not. We fixed it up. We're going to town. Not in a week. Go on. We'll get married. Jack and Elizabeth.
Gonna die soon.
They won't go on.
Cause he's dying.
The first line of your poem is "As we go." You start with
As we go on, yes.
Is the last line like little ditty about Jack and Diane, or like what is it? What's the last line? Can we get the last line?
Yeah, the last line is, and he'll be missed.
And he'll be missed. Yeah.
Suck it on, chili dog. Suck it on, chili dog. Guys, we've had a really, really jam-packed week so far. Between the preview episode and the mailbag episode, some might say, guys, take the rest of the week off.
Yeah.
There's so much content.
You know what we don't need is bit heavy When Calls the Heart and Sign Seal Deliver episodes this week. But you know what you're getting?
What?
That.
That's exactly right. Because we didn't have to watch a movie this week, and so we are still fresh. It's still 9:30 when we're recording this instead
And that's
of
normally
later.
when we just start popping.
That's exactly right.
Pop,
This
pop,
is typically when our best stuff happens. Getting slizzard.
Dude, we are so slizzard.
So slizzard. It's just going to be one of those situations where someone says, you really should have Googled that before you said it. It doesn't mean what you think
It's kind of like tall drink of water,
Yeah,
if you're being honest.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Dan Rickchildren.
To be fair.
Guys, are you excited about this one?
I'm so excited about this one. Full stop.
Joe Rogan Show. Not that one.
Hello. Welcome to the Joe Rogan Show, not that one.
Hey, guys.
Joe, is that you?
I'm trying something new.
Is it a new voice?
Ching, ching.
Yep.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Land here.
You have a type 5 on voices you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. So, Joe Rogan.
That's
That's
you.
my name.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. UFOs? For 'em or against them?
Are you asking Joe Rogan
I'm
that
asking
question?
you, Rig Dilby. Wrigley.
I am always for UFOs.
Yeah. Tim?
Oh, yeah. I like them a lot.
The weird part about this is
that?
that for those people who just tune into the When Calls the Heart, or heaven
That
forbid,
exists?
or yes,
There are people who just listen to When Calls the Heart episode?
or heaven forbid, tuned in, was like Love You Are preview episode. There's 3 movies. I'm not listening to that. We're just coming in hot here, Joe Rogan. That's what we're doing right
Well, you
now.
probably should have listened to
You
earlier.
should have listened
this
because
week.
it's topical, guys.
That's right.
It's
Listen,
topical.
It's topical. Are you guys ready to dive into What Calls the Heart? What's the name of this episode?
Heart, always and forever. Hearts forever.
Marry My Heart.
Marry my heart.
Marry my heart. I don't know.
Will you do me the honor of marrying my heart? My heart is yours.
My heart is yours. That makes sense.
This originally aired on March 18th, 2018. Rick, can I get an update? Do we have a guy?
I have heard a rumor on the street from Fat Darney.
Fat Darney?
Fat Darney is my word on the street guy.
Oh, so Fat Darney's not doing that.
Fat Darney's not doing it. That we have someone.
Don't lead with Fat Darney.
You lead with Fat Darney.
Okay, go ahead.
You
Stay
let
corrected.
me worry about
never.
what's led with what.
Okay.
You don't even show up for parties.
What do you mean I don't show up?
You know.
You
The
know,
toilet
no,
bowl party?
you know,
We
that
don't-
you know.
Stop bringing back
I
up.
wasn't trying to.
You just
You're
did.
giving me a
what do you
hard
mean
time
you
about
didn't-
leaving with Fat Darney, and you're telling me you can't even show up for a Christmas bowl party? Toilet bowl party, excuse me?
You're excused.
I have it on good authority that we have somebody.
We do.
Yes.
Who do we have?
I don't have that name with me.
Interesting. So is it going to be next week?
It's good. It's going to be today. Today. It's happening.
All right.
Okay.
Originally on March 18th, 2018.
Knock, knock.
What was that?
Knock,
Who's there?
knock, knock.
Who's there?
20.
20.
Benny with 2018. Benny's back. It's Benny.
Benny, did you buy 2018?
I'm on 2018.
I thought you were out of
I
fun.
got it on sale, layaway. My wife talked me into it. She said this is the time to buy.
Rig, you let him put it on layaway?
I did let him put it on layaway. He gave me 3 scratch-off tickets. One of them looked promising. Let me true story about the scratch-offs. I won big in the scratchers, bought a chain link fence and a hot tub. Should have bought 2018, and my wife said, "Go for it, sweetie," and now she's pissed.
Man, the people that only tune into the One Calls Art episode, they're screwed. It went a little something like that.
2018 forever. 2017 is last year's news.
And good thing Benny came in halfway through the season.
Time out. So this guy, he buys 2018 on layaway.
On layaway.
halfway through, and then says 2017 is last year's news. He's
Benny, Benny.
Man, what a guy! What a guy!
Man, I'm excited. You know what's going to be crazy, though, is in the next episode, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, we go back to 2014, and the 2014 guy's squirrely.
Rippy, yeah,
Rippy.
who's here for ribs? yeah, I'd say so.
And we record that right after. There is a world
No,
where Rippy and Benny intersect on the way in and out of the studio.
yeah, because we give him studio time. That's
And
part of
that's-
buying the year.
That's the TMZ I'm
Wow.
here for. I went a little something like this. It's 3 days until Jack and Elizabeth's wedding.
It's been
3 days. And
and the
there's,
church down giving kids candles.
and there's still a ton to do. Abigail is stressed. Not about the town, but about the wedding. They want Frank. You guys remember Frank? I didn't forget about him at all.
Do I?
When they said Frank, I immediately remembered.
He was such an integral part of this
he
show.
was so good.
So they want Frank to come back and perform the ceremony because he's a big deal. But Abigail hasn't heard from him. Bill gets handed a Mountie letter that's meant for Jack. But Bill's like, close enough. I'll take care of it. Jack's brother's in town. Accent is gone. Apparently doing very well for himself because he's got a Ford. Bill's going to take care of the Mountie business despite not being a Mountie. He is there to transfer a prisoner to jail from a house in the woods. It's one of the Yancey brothers. The Yancey gang is at it again, boys. The rest of the Yancey brothers start shooting from afar. Pew, 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 pew. Elizabeth's sister shows up back in town, immediately starts talking to Jack's brother again. Will they get another car accident? Only time can tell. This time he's driving a Ford. Frank shows up with flowers, and Bill's nowhere to be found because he's stuck in a shed with a Mountie and a Yancey. Bill discovers a secret door that all sheds have that take them from inside the house in the woods to outside the house in the woods, but not through the front door. And that's key. So he goes out there in the dark. He captures the other Yancey brothers. Bill's just taking care of business. The children are in the church by themselves with candles, practicing wedding stuff. Naturally, Cody blows it because he's Cody, and he lights the whole church on fire. Opal doesn't come out, so Jack runs in and saves her life for what I believe might be at least the third time. I gotta take it to the tape, but I think this might be the third time he saves Opal's life. The church is an absolute wreck, but the whole town decides to come together again to fix up in time for the wedding. It's the wedding day. Bill's nowhere to be found, and Bill has the rings, but he shows up. We're good. We get the wedding, and it's a delight, I guess. And there's speeches, and they dance, and that's it. That's everything. And that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart, Heart on Fire.
Hearts on fire, love's deep. Nope. Okay.
Let's do something we haven't done all week, and let's go to a break.
Wild. We've not had any mid-roll breaks till now, huh?
Why would we?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
We don't need money.
Yep. We're back, everybody. We're talking about When Calls the Heart of the wedding episode. Very excited to talk about this one with the boys.
Yeah.
Let's start with Panda. Let's start with the hot take. Panda, your hot takes this year so far started slow. They're starting to
simmer a little bit.
Let's see what you do here. Big wedding episode. Big episode. Big things. Let's see what you have. What do you think about My Heart and the episode title?
Let me say this. It's one of the few times this year, or this season, that I have been truly glad to be in Hope Valley. You have a lot going on. You have a gunshot. You have a church burning down almost. And you have the wedding. And, man, Jack with the eyes. We have Frank coming back. You have Elizabeth's sister coming back. You have Jack's brother and Elizabeth's dad.
Elizabeth's dad?
Elizabeth's
I'm
dad.
Elizabeth Dad.
From the Dad clan. Nice to meet you.
I'm Elizabeth dad.
Where are all the other dads? Couldn't make it.
Elizabeth
Just
dad.
me, Elizabeth Dad.
The S got stuck in my throat.
Yeah.
Tongue got stuck
and it
to your
stayed there.
teeth.
It's like, I'm not going.
Your
And it
tongue
did not
got
come
stuck
back.
to your teeth. The words get stuck. It's a
Dude,
big stuck.
Act like that's a mistake. We know that Liz's dad is an important part of this show.
That is important. Good episode relative to When Calls the Heart. And glad I watched it. Don't have to watch it again, but I'm overall, we did it, and they're married, and we're trucking along. Boop, boop. Truck.
For 5 seasons, we've watched this show, waiting for this moment. And the creators of this television program decide to push the most important wedding this side of the royal wedding, and I would argue maybe more important than the royal wedding. And they put it all in 5 minutes at the end of an episode. That's all we get. Maybe 5 minutes tops. The nerve to put all of that work that we have spent over 5 seasons waiting for this moment, like a
vapor.
Like a vapor. I was offended. I was hurt. I felt attacked. I felt insulted that you would think that we wouldn't care. I want to see these two get married. And instead, what we get are things that on any other episode I would be for. A fire on the church, bring it. A couple of gunshots, the Yancey gang, let's go. Could have had all of that in the next episode. Let's have a wedding. I want to be invited to the event of the century. And instead, all I got was I do and I do.
It's almost like you haven't watched the past 5 seasons.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen?
I wanted a wedding.
Yeah.
I was promised a wedding.
You did get a wedding.
You got one.
Barely.
And to be honest with you, it's more interesting than what you just proposed. That sounds like a snooze.
No, I want wedding.
Man, I'm mixed on this. I know where you're both looking at me. I'm mixed on this. For me, on one hand, this is the best episode ever, and here's why. Because unless we're in some sort of matrix hell that I'm not aware of, where we're actually are just living a fever dream, the wedding planning now has to stop, right?
Yes.
Right? Like, this does signal the end of the wedding planning,
Yes.
right? Of Rosemary,
So good.
Abigail, and the gang.
Yep.
Please, because if that's the case, then I'll take whatever you give me here.
Yep.
On the other end of it, they decided on what amounts to Brandon being. My problem is not that they didn't spend the whole episode on a wedding. It's that they actually tried to throw away other actually interesting ideas in this episode. It's been just Boring Town,
man.
USA, Population Hope Valley for like 4 seasons. And then they try to do burn the school down,
Which is great.
burn the church down, and Bill Avery being holed up with a prisoner being shot at in the same episode
Bring it.
that they have a wedding. Why? Don't you want to spread that around, spread that wealth of interesting around over the course of a season? Because it's been just sucktastic for like however many episodes. And then they just try to jam 42 minutes into action. I just, for the life of me, I was befuddled. Because this is the first time I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Because
I thought for sure the wedding was going to be next week.
That's
There's
right.
too much going on.
So much was happening in this episode of television. It was like the brass came down and it was like, you got to do it all, and you got to do it now, or you're going to be fired mid-season. What could they possibly have left to do?
It didn't feel a little bit jarring to you, Panda, to just end with a speech and hurrah, and then it's just done.
None of it felt earned at all.
Well, man, this is what we've come to expect. Like, no, it didn't bug me because
obviously
nothing-
I'm being facetious.
Dude,
I don't want a full
they set
40.
up a trial for 3 episodes. For them to have a wedding that just was at the very end was.
I'm
Dude,
being facetious.
how
I
about
don't want
this?
to. I don't
Let
want
me
a
back
42.
up.
I don't want a 42-minute wedding. To be fair,
because I'm not disagreeing with the idea of a 42-minute wedding would have been awful.
I don't want that. I'm
But
being.
to argue his point. Lee and Rosemary's wedding was longer than Jack and Elizabeth's.
Yeah. That
That's-
doesn't surprise me.
That's terrible TV making,
But
right?
we're not debating whether or not this is. It's all terrible television. This show has been nothing but
his
terrible.
complaint is that for the buildup that we've had for 5 seasons, to get what we got is not at all fair, even for this show.
But they don't. But my point, I think here's my thing. It shouldn't surprise you that this is what you got because they haven't done Jack's entire character service this entire season.
They haven't done his character service.
Yeah, do service, do justice.
Yeah, they've done his character a disservice.
They haven't done it service.
They haven't done his character service. That is true. They've not served his character. is what
No,
you're
they
trying
have
to
not.
say.
And so
I thought there was like a church service for his character.
No. Well, no matter
Organs
what
played.
happened to Jack,
We're gathered here
there's
today.
been no service. There's been no foot washing. There's been no servant's heart at all.
To commemorate
Okay.
the death of Jack's character.
It has been disappointing all the way
Written
around.
off into the Northwest Territories to fight unknown bad guys for an undisclosed amount of time. Was it to not pay him? Was it that they were mad at him? Was it they knew he were leaving? Regardless, his character was not serviced.
And what you got was just just they don't care about Jack and Elizabeth's character at this point. That's all. The only thing that boils down to is they do not care about their character. And I'm fine if that's where you're at. Then we got exactly what we deserve because I don't think that this show cares about Jack and Elizabeth ultimately. Especially this season. They do not care about them. And is that a disservice to the fans? I got it right that time. Yes, it is a disservice to the fans. But in terms of just Hallmark's logic, yeah, this makes sense. It's bad.
So will there be any service for Jack?
No, because of the way they even kill him off.
So no service whatsoever.
Just
What's going to be longer?
His death.
Jack's funeral or their wedding?
Ooh.
Funeral Jack.
I'll have to clock.
They don't have to pay him as much.
I'll go back this week and just clock the wedding ceremony.
I will say this: at least they don't have to plan the funeral, and unless they do that,
Guys,
And if
I'll be
that's the
honest.
case-
I'll be honest. The mega funeral at the first scene of the show, the mega funeral, I think was longer than the wedding. For people we never even met.
I just don't understand. That was my big thing is that this is the most action-packed episode of the year, and it's the one episode in this season where you don't need it to be. It's the one episode where you have a built-in thing that's going to happen. You don't need the rest of that stuff, and it's like, this is the time. What if we just threw it all in here and we just crap the bed for 9 episodes? What if we write nothing for 9 episodes and then all of our good ideas in
Bill
one
hasn't
episode?
shot anyone in a while, so what about now? What if we do it now? You think we got enough going
Jack
on?
and Elizabeth get married. Shouldn't that be the A storyline? No. What if they burn the church down?
What about Bill and the Yanceys?
What if
you
we
guys remember the
just
Yanceys?
let kids play with fire? That'd be fun.
That'd be so fun. Let's get to all the feels. Part of the show we talk about what in this episode gave us feels. Panda?
Well, I mean, obviously the wedding, whatever we got of it, it was good. When the church started burning down, shocked. Also very excited. Although I will say they kind of punctuated it when they said they were going to go play with flames because Cody and Robert are together. And when you have those two doofuses together, you know
Robert
something is
can kick rocks.
Robert
Come
can kick
on,
rocks.
man.
Robert-
He's a no good bee.
How is he?
To be fair to
Kick
Robert,
rocks.
this fire 100%
He didn't
is
start the
Cody's-
fire?
No,
I do want to be
Cody's
clear.
fault. This
We're
is
using
Cody's
church
fault.
and school interchangeably because they're the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Because when it comes to the wedding, which is what it was getting ready for,
Yeah.
at that point it was a church.
What it was getting ready for is maybe one of my favorite sentences of all time.
Readied.
Can we call that a sentence? I don't know.
Getting readied for.
I also got Frank Fields. I was glad to see Frank back. Why did they get rid of Frank's character? Do we remember him? Because it seemed like they had to give a full explanation.
They wanted her to end up with Bill, I believe, is the whole reason they.
But they haven't done anything with her relationship with Bill in forever.
Not really. No.
I get the feeling nothing's going to happen with the relationship either.
I've been running out of time. They're like, man, we got years.
Provided Lori doesn't do something stupid.
She would never. She would never. She's the most honest person I know.
She's going to be on this show for 20
That's
years.
exactly right. The only person more.
We'll have to bribe her to leave the show.
The only person who's more honest and loyal than Abigail is the person playing her. We got nothing to worry about. The rowboat is clear. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I guess I was just like, the wedding. I'm happy they got married.
I had angry feels. Not only the fact that I had another episode of godforsaken wedding planning, but also these feels you're going to hear for the first time now. This made me, I think it was because we had just interviewed Kristen Booth.
Okay.
But did you know that the network had to choose one series to continue on after season 1? This or Signed, Sealed, Delivered. And they chose this.
What?
Yeah. They chose this. And I watched this and was furious. I'm talking livid. And don't act like, well, it's okay because we got the Signed, Sealed, Delivered movies. Don't act that because they give you a When Calls the Heart movie 2 every year. So we get a gajillion episodes of mindless, just soul-numbing When Calls the Heart and a movie every year. Signed, Sealed, Delivered got one season, canceled, and then gets a movie every now and then. No. Wow. No.
Lori paid off Hallmark to get her series saved.
Yeah, probably.
Michelle, that's
Gee.
funny.
How you feel
That's
about
funny.
that, Panda?
That's sickening. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's waves. It comes in waves. You'll just try to process.
I'm trying to sit there and parse through the bit, like the logic behind it, because obviously When Calls the Heart has a pretty dedicated following.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do. And all I know is this: Signed, Sealed, Delivered hasn't really done it for me yet. But
And their 4 episodes are better than anything.
Look, the worst Signed, Sealed, Delivered is better than the best thing I've seen in When Calls the Heart by a mile.
Yeah.
By a mile.
But what is Hallmark to
Give
do?
me the Pandering Troops episode over anything that they've offered here.
But what's Hallmark to do, guys? The ratings were better and it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
So,
but neither ratings were like home runs. It
Sure.
was just a matter of building an audience.
Yeah.
And they went with this just nonsense. It's tough. It's tough out there.
It's tough. Tough sled.
they're not gonna choose a mailbag episode over like a Lori Loughlin show. It just was never gonna happen. Not a million.
Yeah,
years.
I mean, in some sense, I don't know.
Lori's the safe bet.
I'm angry is all I'm saying. I'm not saying it wasn't a good business decision. I'm saying I'm angry. Those are my feels, and I'm allowed to have them. So validate them.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Thank you.
Calm down. We've never done that before.
I'm angry.
We don't have to validate them, but apparently we do this
Yeah.
time because Dan has.
Dang right.
There's a call everybody. Let's take a quick break, everybody, and we'll come back and we'll do more things here on Deck to Homework. Lemony Snicket called.
Are you doing a stand-up bit? You did a little duck and dive, like you had a big reveal after that, like a big punchline.
Unexpected.
Unfortunate, you mean?
Unfortunate.
Unexpected doesn't do anything.
You don't do anything. Lemony Snicket called. You're unfortunate.
Nailed it.
Hey. Let's do what? Panda.
Is it midnight? What time is it?
Panda Heavy, boy.
So I'm still trying to figure this one out. Elizabeth is at the school. She's teaching.
No, and the kids. If you walk through this 100 times, it'll never make sense. This is one of the.
And the kids are like, they're checked out, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to decorate for the wedding?" They asked.
Yes.
And she's like, "Yes."
This is an all-timer right
so
here.
all of a sudden, next time we see her, she's at the wedding dress store.
She's popped up to Dottie's store. up there.
Dottie's store.
She's an hour early for her fitting.
An hour early for the thing.
Yeah.
And they look at her and they go, "Well, we're not ready for you
We'll
yet."
be
And
ready.
she goes, "Well, I gave the kids a break.
Yeah.
So I thought I would come here to get my dress hemmed, but can you guys come back to the school to fit
They
me
said,
there?"
we can't do it for an hour.
Right.
And she says, well, I'll be
What are they doing?
back at the school.
Because I don't want to leave the kids
That's right.
alone.
Yeah.
Which
We have myriad questions here. I mean, so many, like we could literally break out the red string and try to diagram this and it wouldn't make any sense. Number one, gave the kids a break. Is Opal in charge over there? What's happening?
what are they doing?
You don't leave Opal.
Has Robert declared himself dictator for life? Have they been sent home to their not parents? What's happening? And then she shows up an hour early. But she had an appointment.
Right.
So originally her schedule worked out for her to be there in an hour. And right now it doesn't work out for her to be there in an hour because now she has to watch children in an hour.
But what were you going to do before?
And now you can come out and do the dress fitting out at the school in an hour because I really don't have to watch them. I just have to be there. Yes, please take all your stuff out of the school. And then apparently after they fit the dress, do you know what they do?
They
leave it there. What are we doing?
I'm glad it burnt down.
It is an all-timer. I'm talking top of the list. Someone wrote it and went, nobody will notice. Jack and Elizabeth are getting married. Nobody will notice. Write a Bill Shoots Somebody scene. It'll just slide right under the radar.
Oh, you thought?
Not on our watch.
Nope.
Not on our watch.
Unacceptable.
You guys are cool. You guys are cool guys.
Looking at you.
You guys are a couple of cool boys.
Last thing is Opal inhales a bunch of smoke, which is unfortunate.
There's a little body too. Like
Yeah, there's a little body, a lot of smoke, and they said she got too much smoke. She OD'd on the smoke.
She was up in smoke.
She was up in smoke. Here's my thing. she is the only person who is troubled by the amount of smoke because other
everybody
people are
else-
sticking their heads directly
To
into
be
the
fair,
fire.
Robert smokes a pack a day.
But like even the people trying to put out the fire, they're just charging in there. There's no problem. They're no one's sitting there wheezing. They're sticking their heads directly in
Yeah.
the fire. And I think you would. I think you
They're
would
not
try.
sticking their heads.
No, they're
directly
sticking
the
their
fire.
heads
Everyone is
in the
sticking their
fire.
head into
It's
a fire.
it's straight
No.
fire
directly in the fire.
directly in the
Saw 'em live.
flames.
I saw Firehead live. It was hot. I got a couple really. I'm more bothered in this episode than ever before, maybe because it's the third one in a row, by just the flippant nature of this wedding to Elizabeth and Jack. Everyone else is busting their butts.
Yeah,
That's right.
And Elizabeth and Jack could not care less about the wedding.
But they're also making decisions on this wedding that Jack and Elizabeth repeatedly are like, no. And then they're like, just let them do it
yeah, right.
over and over again.
Yeah. But this is the thing. This is the line that just drove me nuts. Is like Abigail's like, we got to do this, this, and this. And Elizabeth is like, well, you don't have to check off every item on the list. This is just not a way that you plan a wedding. You have, let's do tiers. If everything doesn't have to be done, Elizabeth, you don't just make one big list.
No.
You don't that is chaos. You just told someone that all of it doesn't have to be done. Well, that can get real messy real quick because what that you're leaving it up to that person to decide what in your wedding is important enough to get done and what's not. And that's tricky. That's where feelings are hurt. That's where relationships are torn apart and never resundered.
Never resundered.
Never brought the sunder.
Nope.
Never brought again. Never connected.
Never
Never
reconciled.
sold. Never sold. Never solded. Never melded.
Never selded.
Were you trying to do soldered?
Soldered. Never soldered.
Bad too. It is a word though.
Now I don't. This my last one here is I don't know. This might be you guys might have.
Are you like, is Porky Pig invading your body? No, this my. Never saw it. That's all, folks.
You guys might have an answer to this.
Okay.
I wasn't born yet. You guys banned it for sure.
Oh God, yeah. It's a golden era for him.
I know the era well.
So they're waiting like, oh, is Frank going to come? Who's going to do the wedding if Frank doesn't come? And Abigail says, as mayor of the town, I have authority. Is that true? Do mayors have legal authority to marry people?
I would assume anyone that has that, like, I don't know. I don't know the
Probably
jurisdiction.
like a public servant, right?
I don't know. I was just, that was a question that it was a wait, what? Just because I was like, is that true? Is it,
Are you okay over there?
is that true?
I'm sure a mayor can officiate a wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
You
sure
say
that'd be
it.
fun.
I mean, a justice of the peace.
This is exactly what happened though in the writers' room. They're like, I'm sure
I mean, back then,
anybody can do anything.
yeah. I mean, how legal are we talking about a Hope Valley wedding? Like, what are we doing?
Right. I was more thinking now. Like, is that true?
I'm sure it is.
Mayors can do anything.
If you ask any mayor, if you asked
John Mayer.
John Mayer.
He could do it?
No, he can do it.
He can't do it. 100%.
He can do it.
But he went,
I pronounce you man and wife.
do you take man? Be your
We got this
groom for two.
groom for two. One thing left to do. Get the rings. Put them on you.
I pronounce you man and wife. To be
Welcome
forever.
to the ceremony, said to me. Where are the rings?
Take a seat.
I just know the lyrics.
Wedding.
Guess you're married. Got your wings clipped. All right. Is it my turn or are we going to do more John Mayer?
I could do this bit for
Yeah.
hours.
Go one more. Go. You said you could do it for hours. Go.
Keep on waiting. Waiting for the groom to show up.
Wow.
Runaway. They're not there.
Runaway
They didn't show
groom.
up.
Runaway groom.
Runaway
Wow.
groom.
Man. Love that. All right, Dan, go ahead.
Bride. Georgia bride. Sorry, that's it. That's the last one. That's all I got. All right. So once again, Elizabeth Thatcher aiming for Teacher of the Year. Not only does she just leave kids unattended on the regular and schedule dress fittings while she's supposed to be teaching, she also starts a lesson with 7 times 7, gets a second into it and goes, let's just decorate for the wedding instead. You kids don't learn anything. And if you did, you'll be back next year to learn it better, right? It's the same material every year. Congratulations. You guys might have an answer for this. Why did Lee and Jack stop by the wedding dress shop? Why did they stop by the dress shop?
I don't know.
No.
They just said they had a break, and they go in there and they scuffle away real quick. The wedding dress gets hidden real quick. But why were they there in the first place?
I don't know.
Did they have a reason for being there? Did Lee need Rosemary for something?
Could be anything.
Could
be nothing. Probably nothing.
I will say this, to see Jack's brother Tom again, and to there be just such a lack of a commitment for him to sound anything like he used to sound made me laugh so hard. Like he was out of De Niro's Mean Streets the first time we met this guy, full New York. And now it's just gone.
Yeah, but he owns a Ford now, so you drop the accent.
I was so happy to see that they just don't care about it at all. I couldn't believe it. And that's really all I have, because my big one was everything that you said about the fitting and all that stuff.
Let's do hopes and valleys. Things that are giving us hope for the future and are bumming us out. Panda.
Thing that bummed me out, no Gowan this week.
There was no Gowan this
There wasn't.
There was no.
Was Gowan at the wedding?
I didn't see him. Wow. He could have been, but I didn't see him. Which is weird that you don't include him. I mean, he is
this big redemption story, and he's not at the wedding.
He's out there at the wedding. So that bummed me out. What am I looking forward to? I don't know.
That was so sad. I got a valley, guys. I don't usually do valleys here, but I got a valley.
We got to keep you positive. We don't want to get any emails.
I know, but you guys will be with me on this one. Lemony Snicket.
So unfortunate.
Called, said, "You're unfortunate." That's funny. I mean, it took you a while to get there, and you needed the help of him for one joke. But by the time you got there, it's a funny joke.
At first, you started with unexpected.
Unexpected.
A series of unexpected.
And you
events.
paused for like 100 seconds, too. But once you
got on the plane and we leveled that bad boy out,
it wobbled. It's a good joke.
Yeah,
I love the joke. It just took you a while. Like maybe beforehand, just come to show prep or something.
Guys, I missed show prep one time.
I know.
And you
Usually
promised
just
not to bring it up.
That's right. Sorry.
Got the clip. Man, where is he?
Where is he? He's here. Oh, he always gives us a hard time.
And then it's just, I hope he's not getting out there getting slizzard.
He better not be getting slizzard.
Unexpected.
I don't think that's going to play well at
Not
all.
going to play well at all.
All right. We're at this wedding. And if there's one thing, and I would have bet the freaking farm on this, if there's one thing I would have expected out of a Jack wedding is candles. And lots of candles. Not many candles at all. Maybe, there are a couple, but Jack has gone out of his way to out in the fields where you don't usually put candles. He has gone multiple times and just spread out candles by himself. And now an event is here where candles are welcomed and romantic and like, hey, let's really just.
It's a no-go.
No go.
I
I
mean, after
shocked.
the place almost burned down.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true. That
there's
would have been in poor taste. But just bummed. I was bummed. I really thought we were going to get the candles one more time, and we didn't. I was very disappointed by that.
So my hope turned pretty quickly to a valley. I just want to get this straight. This church school almost burns down, and they look at each other with under 24 hours left, and they're like, a coat of paint, and we'll be good to go. And I just thought, I was like, this is going to be great. All that wedding planning for naught, and they're just going to have an outdoor wedding. It's going to be really simple.
Candles.
It's going to be really basic. And instead, kids burn this mother to the ground, and they're like, guys, just some elbow grease. and a coat of paint.
You just trust Lee.
And this
This is
church
what Lee
will
does.
be good to go. It was one of the worst.
Lee does lumber.
Oh my gosh.
That's true.
It was so
LeeDoesLumber.com.
frustrating. Really frustrating.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope when it calls to heart letter.
Yeah, but we got to do other stuff first, Brand, like the Smolder Alert.
Smolder Alert.
I mean, it's a solid 8 for me.
If it's not a 10 at this point, when's it going to be?
was a
It's
10
a
last-
wedding. It's a wedding.
Yeah.
I give it a 10.
I think last week, believe it or not, was maybe a little bit higher for me.
That's I had 10 last week. I think
so I'm
I think
going to
it's an 8 for
go
me.
9 and a dime.
9 and a
He's
dime.
been putting on some solid smolder since he
Oh,
returned.
boy. It's
What's he
great.
got? He's got to empty the tank. And what's he got left to lose? He's going out. He's out of here soon.
That's actually why he dies.
That's right.
It was
His
not,
smolder
it's not
tank
because
was
he gets
empty.
shot or
That's
something.
right.
He
Shepherd's
he's
pie.
like,
No. The pocket watch. No.
I think we're
Guys,
he's
we
never
might need to
coming back.
retire
Robert Jerkmeter.
Off the chain yet again.
I mean, he did help burn down a church.
Off the chain. Off the chain.
I'm
Off the
gonna
chain.
go. I'm gonna go 5.5, which is a Clay Ald. Now Clay, a dear childhood friend of mine, and we got along so well. But like he sometimes pop back at some teachers from time to time. Yeah. I'm gonna go Clay, a 5.5 Clay Ald. That's what I'm going with.
He wasn't that bad. He's definitely not off the chain. For Nate Nets. Love Nate Nets. Worked with him for a couple of summers. But like sometimes, like especially like on those really hot days when you're working at camp, you're kind of a tool. And I think he would he would say yes to that.
Off the chain is what you said.
Yeah, off the chain. I've got to go 9.
Wow.
No, but he burnt down a church.
He did help.
Cody burnt the church down.
Okay, so I'll give him. All right, he doesn't directly. He's a
It's not
6.
fair. Just because Cody's there, it's not fair for you to pin the fire on him.
Okay, fine.
When it's clearly Cody.
Okay, that's fair.
Never thought I would be
I'll give him.
defending him.
I'll give him a 6. 6, and that's Jonathan. I can't remember his last name.
Johnny.
Jonathan. He was in first grade, and he used to get into some fights, but I kind of liked him.
In the first grade?
Yeah.
To be fair, the 40s were a weird time, and it is fist fights were common. That's right.
Let's go.
His dad was probably in the war. Sorry.
Dealing with a lot of
He
stuff.
did, fisticuffs. Put him up.
Put up your dukes.
Oh, man.
What's calling my
Where were
heart?
you homeschooled?
Yeah, I thought you were
Second grade.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You just
great.
spent that one grade.
Well,
it was like
because
after Johnny and the
Johnny's
fisticuffs. No
Johnny's
way.
getting
Then,
in fights. You
yeah,
gotta
I
take
didn't
him
have
home.
any. I didn't have a bully in 2nd through 12th grade. I mean, it was me. I bullied myself a fair amount.
There's a chance you might run out of bully, out of jerks.
That's right.
No, I've met a fair amount since.
Well, he
then.
can keep up making them up if he's just going to use their first name.
Johnny.
Steve was a real just.
Steve, no last name.
Yep.
Steve used to give me a wedgie every day.
Wow. Every day, man. Steve.
He's the
calm it
atomic
down.
type, just
The
ripping them.
atomic wedgie every day. What's calling my heart? Hello at deckthehallmark.com. Tell us what's calling your heart. This is from Megan Volmer.
Again.
Brand, Dan, and Panda, what's calling my heart is motherhood and raising a next generation Bramble Jam fan. It was a long, difficult journey to bring home our sweet baby Victor in September. There were so many heartbreaks and painful days along the way, but the joy and lightness of the Bramble Jam podcast were always a welcome relief. During my pregnancy with Victor, I listened to DTH every night before bed and through most of my labor. Wow. Every night of Victor's life, he has fallen asleep to DTH multiple times per night. As a result, even just playing the intro helps him calm down. This is great, man. His favorite thing is Rig. What?
Rig,
He
you did
always
it, buddy.
stops his fidgeting when he hears his voice.
Victor, Victor, I need you to listen here closely, sport. There are things you need to know. Get you a good pair of suspenders early. They're hard to find. Treat your mother well. And you get 2 for 1 whenever you can. Doesn't matter where. If it says 2 for 1, Victor, you take that 2 for 1. I don't care what they're offering. 2 for 1 and then you're done. That's my rule for thumbs.
Your rule for
I'll
thumb?
talk to you about it later.
Okay.
He always stops his fidgeting when he hears his voice. He recently started laughing And the first time he laughed at my pants, I laughed so hard I almost had to change my pants. Gosh, this is so surreal for me as a human being. Thanks for building such a great and supportive double-decker community that helped me through some really tough times. Thank you for every hour of sleep I've gotten by playing your podcast for Victor, and for every toothless grin and giggle of his that I get to enjoy from the bits. P.S. Dan, every time Victor asks me about the Santa Isn't Real talk, I'm going to make him watch the Polar Express to remind him that some adults just aren't believers. Let that weigh on your heart. Megan Vollmer. Megan, God bless you. That was fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Rick, are you a dad?
Oh no, gosh no.
They knows of.
It's I can't put 2 for 1 as a priority if I'm a father.
4 for 2.
2 for 1, and then you're done. Did you listen to me, you dummy?
This also could be why.
This is why I helped create the 4 for 2, because in life, 2 for 1 is the rule for thumbs. But the only way to get better, why are you laughing? You're the one who can't talk straight.
Yeah, you're right, man.
2 for 1. I can't have a progeny running around.
There's sometimes when Rick knows big words and sometimes when he doesn't. And I can't. I mean, he said rule for thumbs and then he says progeny. Like, I can't nail that guy down.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Can't. He's a real lemony snicket. We'll be back tomorrow with another good one. Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast. It's presented by Philo TV. It's produced by Brandon Gray and recorded live in, Greenville, South Carolina. Set decor is by Plum at Haywood Mall. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on Bramble Jam Podcast Network, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com.